Hey, this is Tamago. Welcome back to Automation Nation. Last time around, we completed the basic create tutorial, but we haven't completed the rest of the chapter, which has some interesting modules to go further into create. One of them is to get brass, which needs us to cook stuff using this blaze burner, this Bunsen burner thing, which of course requires us to go to the Nether to get a blaze, which is why I'm here down in the mines to grab some obsidian, so I can make a Nether portal. Now, we do have vein mining in this pack, so I'm going to try something a bit new. Don't know if this is going to work, but we're going to place water all over this. And then I'm going to vein mine all of this, and hopefully we don't lose stuff, right? Because, as you know, mining obsidian takes an eternity. And I hear a zombie. Hello. Okay. All right, that did work. Okay, and we have 14 pieces of obsidian. Very, very nice. All right, I think I will make the cave down here so we don't have to deal with too much of the noise up there. Probably inside of this wall, like so. And let's see where we land. But I guess let's fence this off first before we get some mobs all over the place. We also should get a fence gate because I've forgotten to. As well as grab a shield over here. I have no idea where the old one went. And now it's time to go and see where we land in the Nether. Okay, it's a crimson forest, one of the most hostile ones, unfortunately. Speaking of, we probably should craft these empty blaze burners first before we get in here. But let's take a look if there's any fortresses nearby. It doesn't seem like so. So let us quickly craft 3 of those, so we come back with more than 1. I also probably should have brought some gold. But let's just try exploring the Nether for a bit. And we already have a ruined portal to start us off with. But yeah, this is pretty terrible terrain, as you see. Very, very hard to traverse. But I forgot if I've stated this already. But the reason why I wanted to get this quest line done is because that will allow us to get some brass, which is quite useful for a lot of advanced crate components. Okay, let's try to cross into the more neutral biome over here. And hope I don't die. Okay, that is a very, very, very tight bridge. I should probably also mark where the portal was, which was somewhere over here. Alright, there doesn't seem to be anything in this direction. It's just the Basalt Delta or Soul Sand Valley, is it? So I'll try to head south. Cinder Flower Node. Right, these are one of the nodes that the quest book mentions. I'm pretty sure that is for us to explore later. So yeah, let me just mark this quickly on the map. Alright, that seems like a pretty bad direction. Let's try to head the other way and hopefully we'll find something a bit better. So this would be the west direction. Alright, we have a bastion over here. Unfortunately, not a fortress. Okay, I just killed a wraith that spawned in the Soul Sand Valleys biome. Is that what it's called? And it dropped this thing over here, called the soul bead, and when I clicked on U, it says that right-clicking it will lead those who are lost towards the fortress of the underworld. Okay, so I'm assuming this will lead us to another fortress, hopefully. That was an interesting sound. I'm assuming that went this way, so let's take a look, I guess. I still haven't found anything on the map. And this Basalt Delta has been very, very, very annoying to traverse through and obviously very dangerous as well. Am I just seeing things or is that another fortress? Let's take a look. I can see some like square-ish structures. But yeah, we're going to just have to go through this slowly through all the lava underground. Oh yeah, indeed. It is another fortress as you see over here. Right. That was very helpful that we stumbled across that wraith over there. A very nice quirk feature of finding the Nether fortress without cheating. Okay, let's take a look. Right, there is one. Let me just quickly grab it. Okay, I am very good at this game, am I? I do want to get some blazes themselves as well, like the rods. That would be very nice. And let's just quickly cover this place up so that we do not deal with flying blazes. Okay. Right, there you go. And there are 3 blaze burners. Very nice. And I'm pretty sure you need some fuel to power these. I can't remember what they are though. Oh yeah, the fuel can be some kind of wood or whatever flammable items, so it doesn't have to necessarily be blaze rods, which is good. Alright, we have our first 2 chests over here, stuff and steel and saddle, very nice. And here is yet another chest, some more goodies, nice. And there was one more over here, and what is this? Ooh, some buddy cards, okay. We'll mess with that someday, and ooh, what is this one from? Quark, okay. But yeah, right now my goal is to try to find some nether wart. That would be very nice before leaving this place. One of the last things we have to get from a nether fortress. Unfortunately, I'm unable to find some nether wart, which is, I mean, not a first. It has happened before, but it is quite unfortunate. Alright, I am now at the portal. Let's throw the soul bead once again to see where it goes in this case. Okay, it is going in that direction, so that was the correct direction, the closest from the portal. But we're gonna have to painfully go through the Soul Sand Valley. But it might be worth it because I do really want to get that nether wart, so we'll give it another half an hour or so before we give up on this. Alright, after plenty of vein miner digging, we are here in the Soul Sand Valley, the home of the ghasts. I don't know why I still don't have return to sender, but okay. Okay, and I think that is another fortress over there. I think we can enter the fortress by digging up somewhere over here. The funny thing is that all of this is intertwined with the nether brick, so I have like no clue where the fortress actually is. Oh, okay, no, there it is. Just as I said it. Okay. Oh, and this chest has nether wart. Very nice. So we don't even need to find that room. Okay, very well. Might as well explore though while we are here. Oh, never mind. This place also has this room. That is very nice. Okay, I think that is enough stuff for the day. I will come back to here in the near future if I need to. But yeah, let me just grab some more soul sand because I am here now. Alright, now that I am back and I have put away all of my stuff, we can get back onto the quest line to make some brass. Next up in the number of steps is to create a basin. This is where we will mix our brass, but it is also a place where we can make ingots into blocks and nuggets into ingots using the mechanical press. Recipe is very simple. It is just made out of some andesite alloy, so we just need a bit more, and it is made in this U shape like so. Alright, next up is to get the mechanical mixer itself, and here it shows us a basic setup to automate this with the output going into a second basin. So if I'm not wrong, that thing in the image are some chutes, if that's how you pronounce it. That thing over here. Or maybe the basin already has like a thing. I don't know. Let's try to place it down first then. Alright, let's craft the mechanical mixer itself, shall we? So we need a bunch of iron plates to make this whisk. Alright, so here comes the whisk, and I should have everything else to make this. There you go. And now we can start placing this down and constructing it. I have made a bit of a gear setup over here. This is extremely messy, but I'm pretty sure in the future we will have access to a machine which will allow us to increase speed as we will. And if we just place it over there, there you go. It is starting to mix. And I think oh no, the chute is included. We don't have to make a separate one. Very nice. And if you just grab this zinc that I have been crushing, as well as some of the copper that I've also been crushing. Right, we can grab 2 of these and put them in the mixer. Is it a right click? I don't remember. Let's take a look at the quest line, shall we? Oh yeah, there you go. The very next step is to get some of this crushed ore because it cannot mix the ingots together because it's not hot enough. Okay, and now it's time to make the brass itself. And here it is saying that we cannot automatically input the fuel unless we use some of the create mechanics discussed at a later time. But for now, we can put some fuel over here to let this thing burn, and we could start to place things inside. I'm not sure how to do that. Is it just a drop? Okay, it is. Cool. And it will start mixing, and the output will go over there. Very nice. So I think I will just throw all of this in here actually. I hope this doesn't despawn. That would be nice. It is an inventory, right? So hopefully it shouldn't. Yeah, there you go. You can right click this to pick it up from there. I do like that animation as well. That's pretty cool. And there you go. That is 10. And that should unlock that quest. And then this asks us to make 100 brass ingots, which is plenty. But fortunately, we do have the bulk washing to help us get a bit more. So we'll be doing this throughout until we get 100. And as more of this zinc processes over here. Alright, I think this is the last few pieces of brass that we have to make to complete the quest. Very nice. And that is that section done. And oh look, we have something new. I also ended up creating another millstone attaching to the windmill, which has a lot of SU2 output, so that we can also have the crushed copper ore going at a faster speed. All right, last but not least is the deployer, which is basically a player right-click simulator. So it can be very helpful in automating things, in particular in putting the fuel inside of the blaze burners, because indeed that is a right-click task. Okay, let's take a look at the recipe. So it's starting to get a bit more complicated, but over here we have an electron tube, which is, okay, that's not so bad. And here we have a very interesting mechanic of sandpaper polishing some rose quartz. Rose quartz is just some quartz and a bunch of redstone. Okay, let's take it one step at a time. So we have our redstone dust and our nether quartz. And then we just put this into the grid and we need to craft our sandpaper. I don't know what that is made out of. Okay, sand and paper, of course. Okay, here comes the paper and here comes the sand. There you go. And I think you just put one in your offhand, one in your main hand, and it will sand it for you. It has the eating sound, which is kind of funny. Anyway, here comes the diode, is it? No, the electron tube. Okay. Now we need the brass head, which is 4 brass sheets. But yeah, this is what I like so much about Create so far. Just all the recipes you see are very vanilla feeling. They don't really add any additional items unless it is very necessary. So it really does feel very integrated into the base game. Okay, here comes the hand. And here comes the deployer. There you go. And that is the Create Quest Coster certificate for this one. I don't remember what this is used for. It might just be a decorative thing. But yeah, for now, let us just put it inside of here. Next up, I think I want to get into this thing over here, which will teach us how to make an automatic tree farm. The one standard in Create, which is the rotation-based one. Because yeah, for now, what we have is this. These are all bunched up on the edge of the swamp because they cannot grow inside of the plains biome because oak does not natively grow here, even though there are some oak trees spread around. Yeah, try to plant some over here and you can see that they turn into dead bushes. I forgot about that biomechanic. But yeah, for this we are going to need the mechanical bearing, similar to before with the windmill that we have over there. Okay, here comes the mechanical bearing. Okay, next up is the radial chassis, which will attach vertically to the spinning stuff. And you see over here, we already have a farmland set up there. Very simple, just those things, and there we have it. All right, next up is to get some super glue, which will stick the blocks to this rotating thing in the middle. There's a lot to read, and I think we'll just go through this as we go. So the super glue is made with 2 slime ball, iron plates, as well as an iron nugget. Fortunately, we do have 2 slime ball, but they are not so hard to make here. We just need lime dye and some dough. All right, here comes our super glue, like so. All right, next up are the mechanical harvesters, which will actually break the blocks in our tree farm. So this is made with some andesite alloy, casing, and some plates. Okay, finally gather all the materials, and we are making 5 mechanical harvesters because I do want to make the setup shown over here. Oh, oops, that's not the tree farm I thought it was. This is just a regular old farm. Okay, that's all right. But yeah, this will be the very last thing to help us transfer the items from the farm into an external inventory. And this, as you see, requires some brass. So that's why we need to have some brass over here. The other thing is some andesite funnels, which means we need some dry kelp. And I don't think I've harvested any kelp before. Okay, let's go into the ocean and get some. Fortunately, there is an ocean nearby with some kelp. So that is pretty simple. All right, we got our 2 kelp, the brass sheets. And so we are able to make this now, I think. So here comes the andesite funnels. All right, there you go. And now we need the brass casings, which are these. Just need a bit more wood. There you go. And then we can craft 2 of these, I believe, like so. There you go. And that is that completed, I think. Very nice. Okay, next up, let's try this one over here, this drill looking thing. And yet this will be a path to automatically generating iron, which is good because we're going to need a lot of it as we will use a bunch of steel when we're doing railroading. And fortunately, there is a legit way to do this, unlike with the iron golems in vanilla. All right, I think I'm back with a ton of materials. Let's get the andesite casing. And oh, we need a piece of iron ingot. And that will give us our very first mechanical drill. I'm assuming we're going to need multiple of these to get a decent production up and running. Okay, next up it wants us to make an automatic cobblestone generator. So I think I'm going to make a setup very similar to this. All right, so here comes another set of encased fans. Or just one. There you go. And then we're going to need to make a belt, which looks like this. So we need to smelt plenty of kelp. Okay, I cleared out an area for this, so I think we are just going to make it here. So let us waterlog this stair over here with some water, guard it with some stairs. With some trapdoors. And then on this side, we are going to have our lava. I think I do have one bucket left somewhere. All right, and if we place this over here. Okay, I'm good at this game. I think we need to place down the lava bucket first, and hopefully that shouldn't happen. Oh, no, never mind. It is a stair that is facing the other way so that the water does not fall all over the place. Okay, there you go. That's actually a pretty cool mechanic. I like that. Okay, this should work now. Okay, that's good. But yeah, this technique, I think, of using the lava for both the cobblestone generator as well as the fan is quite genius, I think. Okay, I think we now have enough kelp to make some belts. Let's make 2. All right, and we will need them placed like this. And I'm not sure how to place down this thing properly. I guess I can try to place it like this and then rotate it with my thing. Okay, and then if I do this, okay, right, that's how you do it. And you place it down here, connect these two. Oh, actually 1 belt is enough. I didn't know that. I guess it's just been a while since a plate was created. But, like so, we are going to get a cobblestone generator. Very slowly, as it says. Okay, let us make... Oh, okay, that's a bit dangerous. But yeah, let's make a hopper so we can collect the drops. Okay, here is the chest. And for the hopper, we are going to place it over here. I'm not exactly sure how to make this faster without some complicated gear setup. I mean, we can do this thing all over again. Let's actually give that a try. I think it'll be kind of fun. Okay, so let us get some gears. So we want a big one first of all, and then we want that going to a smaller one. And if we just throw a bigger one in here and another smaller one over here, we should be able to get the speed that we want, I would presume. Okay, that's a bit faster. And if I just connect this, oh no, that should be a shaft, I think, down here. And then if we just have a belt going through here, all right, that's a bit faster. And that is exactly 64 SU. Very nice. I just added the 2 trapdoors there to protect it so it doesn't go everywhere. But yeah, I think I'm going to leave this to it. But for now, so we can progress through the quests, we are just going to get the cobblestone that we have already. And next up over here is to use the mill to get some gravel. So I would think that we could somehow use this over here, setup that we already have. I'm not sure how to travel, like make blocks travel upwards though. But once again, for now, I'm just going to manually do this. So we get our gravel. All right, I'm going to not be lazy and actually try to attempt this because I think it's actually a bit fun. I guess that's the whole point of create. But yeah, so over here, I have an automatic dropper set up. So this is designed by VidMC. And if there are any items inside of the dropper, it will drop it. I just have to complete the circuit so we don't have a mess. But my plan over here is to have a water column going up here. Hopefully they'll work with the water here. And so it's going to get dropped into like a hopper somewhere up here into the millstone so we could continue this process. But we'll see if that will actually work. So we need a bit of soul sand over here. And we need to, I guess, surround the surrounding areas with something. So in this case, I'm going to put dirt. And once we reach above here, I think we can start to place some glass around here. I honestly do not know how that's going to work with that. Let's see. Let's try to put a bucket of water there. Okay, let's try to set this thing up first so I know how far up we need to go to make this work. So I want the chest to be all the way down here and the hopper to be out here. So I shouldn't place this glass. So we do get a bit of the glass back with the glass shards. Okay, so chest goes over there and we're going to have the hopper over here. We're going to have the millstone over here, the hopper on top. And I think I might have a buffer chest. So actually I might move this 1 block in front so that we have enough space. Or yeah, I can make this less tall basically. You'll see what I mean in just a second. So we just place that over there and put the millstone here, hopper here, chest over here, and then our last hopper would be over here. So we just need the water flowing into that hopper. So if I just place a glass here, I think we should be good to go. Assuming this works. I definitely will have to move that if it doesn't work. Okay, and let's see if it breaks if I place this over here. Oh no, it doesn't. Okay. Alright, very nice. And if I just place a bunch of kelp all the way down here, we should get a complete thing going. Like with all the bubbles. Let's try. There you go. Very nice. And it seems like I forgot to fill in this hole. Oh, and I guess it's nice if I just put a thing over here so it doesn't fly all over the place. Okay, here we go. I think this should work. If I just put the last piece of redstone dust over here, I think. Which is here and here. That is working, but making a lot of noise. Let me just block this off. But yeah, very, very nice. And this should be, this should be going into here and into the millstone. And all we have to do is to give this some power. Okay, after more time than I'd like to admit, I finally got the power source working here with 64 SU at the max capacity of this thing, the encased fan with lava. Oh boy. I'm curious actually how much magma blocks give. Let's take a look. Oh, it's also 64 SU. I guess it's like the same thing without the mess. Alright, after waiting for a while, we finally got our 3 stacks of gravel for the quest. Very nice. And last but not least is to do the washing stuff, which we have done before. But this will yield us our iron from our gravel. So we already have an encased fan here, so I'm just going to move this over. But I think the way we are going to do this is to have a belt set up over here. So I'm pretty sure if we place a funnel over here, shaft here, and then over here we have another shaft. Just give me a moment. Over here. Right, and we just put the mechanical belt over here. Oh, okay. So this would be one lower. Okay. Belt here. And funnel should... Oh. I need to move the one over. Okay, are we good now? There you go. Seems to have recognized it. And then on the other side, we would have a chest. Specifically, we'll have it over here. And then we have another funnel to funnel that inside. And the washing will happen somewhere in the middle here. So if we just move the water from there to here, after placing an iron bar, that is, so we don't make another mess like before. And then we just move the fan down here, we should be good to go. And of course, having a power source. Last but not least is to get the power working. So I've already gotten it set up. I just moved one of the water wheels over here to over here because we don't need 3 to just run this one thing. Okay, so all we have to do is just place this water over here and we should get some bubbles going. And the last thing to do is to get these things moving, the belts. Okay, so I dug out the area down here. And it seems that we are just lucky that we rotate these things the correct number of times. Oh, I didn't know there were half gears here. That's actually kind of cool. I think I actually made them. Are they called cogs? Oh, they're called cog wheels. Okay, that's good to know. Anyway, minor mistake, but in here that's actually fine. Because we do only need one side. As you can see, we rotate twice, so we are going the counterclockwise direction, which is what we want. And then if we just place this, there you go. We should be spinning the right way down there. And actually, no, that is enough. Okay, that's good to know. But I think I'm missing one key ingredient here. Okay, I've just read on Reddit and it says that the issue is the conveyor belts will not stop for the washing process. So one solution would be to have a bunch of encased fans in a row. I think it was at 8 if we wanted to have it at this speed, or just somehow make this thing flow even slower. Alright, change of strategy here. I'm going to try something else before I need to make a lot of these encased fans because they are not necessarily cheap, or I guess they're just a bit annoying to craft. Okay, so another strategy that I've read online is to slow the mechanical belt down so that there's enough time for this washing to happen before it passes through the area. The only issue now is the mechanical belt is the wrong way, but the encased fan is blowing the right direction. So I think we can just use a gearbox over here, the one and only thing we have, only one we have. And yeah, there you go. And let's just take a look at it and see if this is fast enough or slow enough, I guess, if you talk about the belt. Okay, it seems to just be barely slow enough. Let's just try to see one more time and see if that's true or not just a fluke. Okay, that seems to be the case. And just one more time. Okay, all right, that seems to be good. I'll let this run for a bit, and if we encounter some gravel, then we know that something is wrong. In this chest, I mean. Okay, so we just place this chest over here, the andesite funnel over here, and then we get our iron nuggets, and also some flint, because that is also one of the byproducts of this. So it is definitely much slower than just washing iron, which is good. That's, I guess, makes sense, right? But even then, the author has already boosted up the rate, so that is very nice of the author. Thank you very much. But yeah, this is just going to very, very slowly convert everything into iron nuggets. I'm not sure if this is fast enough to keep up with the production of cobblestone that we have. We might change the setup a bit in the future. Maybe just reduce this by one time instead of twice. And add another mechanical fan beside here so that we have 2 spaces to wash. In fact, that might be a good idea. Let me just make another encased fan. Alright, just one more belt in and I think we should be good to go. Okay, and I think we can speed this up by 1 bit. So instead of slowing down twice, we could just slow down once. And I think we can connect our gear over here. Alright, there you go. And let's see if this is fast enough to get our iron. It seems like it is. Okay, very well. So this should process things twice as fast now because the things are going twice as fast, or roughly, I guess. There's some delay with the double amounts of flint and iron, but yeah, it's roughly double, I guess. By the way, about belts, it is one way to transfer power like this, but it's not the most ideal way because it does use up SU, as you can see over here, although it's not too much. We have a lot of SU over here, so I typically use cogwheels when possible. And I suppose this is a pretty cool time to put some andesite casings just to show it off. That's a bit of a nicer walking path here. Oh, it doesn't seem to consume the andesite casings either. That is actually pretty cool. Alright, after AFKing this for some time, I think we finally have enough iron to complete the quest. It's about 16 stacks, just a little under. Right? Wait, come on. Oh, we're so close. Okay, 8 more. Alright, there is 8 more, and there is our quest, new renewable. And yeah, this is now automatic iron, which is quite nice. We don't have to worry about that again. Well, maybe sometime in the near future if we're not producing enough, but so far, as you can see, that is almost 2 stacks of iron by just literally waiting. So that is very, very nice. Oh, and here we go. Here is the final challenge for 1,000 iron ingots. So it wants us to make more of these, basically, which is fine, I guess. But I think for now, this is okay. I'll probably just AFK this for longer. And the other thing I want to do is to set up a mechanical press to automatically get the 9 iron nuggets into an ingot. Okay, I've decided to just do the AFKing while I do the other create stuff. But that is for next time, because that's the end of today's episode. Today we explored a bit more of create and got this iron generator set up from create. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Have a good rest of your day. And as always, God bless.